Thank you very much. We'll ask you to come back after the next presentation, which is from Thanawat Tiensin, who is our first online speaker.
Hello, good morning. Bonjour. I hope that you can hear me loud and clear.
We hear you fine. Thank you. Go ahead.
I hope that you already see my slide as well. Yeah.
Yes, it's okay.
Thank you. Thank you very much for the invitation to talk with all of you at the World Microbiome Partnership Summit. My focus today will be more on microbiome at the nexus of agri-food system and One Health. I'm talking after my colleagues, Shadia, maybe it's much easier because she already talk more and give introduction on One Health and also on animal health. As you know that today, our challenge to feed 8 billion people today and 10 billion people by 2050. And that's why in terms of healthy food, safe food, and nutritious food is critical. And also it's very linked to microbiome, how it works. Some of you may visited our organization, our headquarters in Rome before, and how FAO works with you on microbiomes. I would like to share with you some work that FAO have done before. Regarding the nutrition, we have a publication on the role of microbiome science in addressing malnutrition and non-communicable disease. And regarding the livestock, we also have the two publications that is also some part linked to microbiome on nutrition, on contribution of terrestrial animal source food to healthy diets for improved nutrition and health outcome, and also the others publication on pathway toward lower emissions from livestock sector, because microbiomes in feed will help us to reduce the emissions in animals. And also the work on bioeconomy, some work on soy microbiomes is a game changer for food and agriculture, and also the review of impact of crop productions on soy microbiome. I remember when I worked as the permanent representative of Thailand to the UN agencies in Rome, and also in the capacity of the chairpersons of the Global Soy Partnership. And we know that the microbiomes is really linked to the soil health. If you don't have a healthy soil, you cannot have a good crop production. If you don't have healthy microbiome, all the cow manuals, animal manure, biofertilizers cannot be used properly by our plant. And that's why some of the work on microbiome in terms of the missing link with science and innovations is also very important. And also the work on food safety. There are some publication on the impact of microplastics on gut microbiomes and health, and also the pesticide residues and drug residues, and also intervention between food additive with gut microbiome and human health is really critical. And I can give you some link how it linked between microbiomes in agri-food system and One Health, how we in FAO perspective what we are looking. As all of you know, microbiome play a critical role in soil health, crop productivities, animal health, and food safety. It's an interlink, because when my colleagues, previous speakers talk about One Health, and that's why the issue around agri-food system, One Health, and microbiome is a holistic approach. It's interlinked, it's interconnected. And the healthy microbiome can reduce the need of chemical input, and also antimicrobial, supporting more sustainable and resilient agri-food system. And I remember very well when I was the chairperson of the Committee on World Food Security, CMS, and also as the advisory committee of the UN Food System Summit. And at that time, we launched the voluntary guideline on on agri-food system and food system and nutrition, and also voluntary guideline on agroecological and other innovative approach. We know that all of this link between healthy microbiome with agroecologies and also with the agri-food system is always can help us to reduce chemical use and antibiotics. And even though the microbiome-based innovations such as probiotics, biofertilizers, biopesticides, offering the compromise tools to improve productivity. If we want to have the better production, because today at FAO, we talk about for better production, better nutrition, better environment, and a better life. And you can see that microbiome is the key link for better production. And then it will link to others. And that's why the microbiomes in agri-food system in One Health have the potential to advance many SDG. And even though with link with the For Better and SDG is interconnected. And that's why by integrating microbiome on agri-food system and One Health can help us improve health, support sustainable farming, boosting the bioeconomy, build climate resilient, and protect the environment. And just this week at FAO, we have the FAO Global Agri-Food Biotechnology Conference, and that's why we know that the microbiomes is a part of agri-food biotechnology. And that's why we know that new innovations to make sure that microbiome and agri-food system transformation will be driving towards sustainability. And I like these pictures because it really gives you a clear idea how the microbiomes in animal guts, even though in bees. Because last 2 weeks, I just came back from Ethiopia, that FAO together with government of Ethiopia and also with the UNIDO, and also Epimondia. We have the International Forum for Sustainable Beekeeping and Pollination. And you can see that the microbiome in honeybee, it go to human health and link to the nutrition, link to healthy people, healthy food, and also some kind of others bee products is also linked to microbiome and also the others. And that's why you can see that this picture is really help us to understand how animal, bee, insects, and plants, soil, and others interconnected. And that's why at FAO, our member state asked FAO to develop and implement One Health in agri-food system for global health and food security framework. Because sometimes when you're talking about One Health, people will think, oh, One Health is just only human health. But in FAO, One Health, it linked to not only human health or animal health. When you're talking about One Health, you think only zoonotic disease. And that's why here we're talking about plant health, soil health, human health, animal health, food safety, and biodiversity. All these issues is interlinked. And that's why microbiome is very tiny, but it's very powerful. And that's why healthy microbiomes in soil, plants, animal, human help us keep ecosystem balance. And even though to keep our plant, our animals have a good immunity and also can protect disease, whatever animal disease, plant disease. And that's why if you want to have the healthy plants, you need to have a healthy soil, because the immunity of plant come from good soil or soil health. And that's why the protecting the microbiome means using fewer, whatever, let's say try to use the chemical and antibiotics, have a prudential use. And also to make sure that it linked to the human, animal, and planet health. And that's why FAO supports smart use of microbiome science to grow safer food, improve health, and build stronger agri-food system. And as my colleagues already mentioned, through the One Health of the Quadripartite collaboration, we continue to work with you, and we can see how we can work. And especially under the FAO mandate and also One Health in Agri-Food System for Global Health and Food Security Framework, we can continue to make sure that we can do better on microbiome. And that's why you know that if you go to the market, if you go outside your meeting room today, you ask people, what is microbiome? I'm sure that if you ask 10 people will say, I don't know, what does it mean? And that's why, even though sometimes when we're talking about antimicrobial resistance, if you go outside and ask normal people, sometimes they don't know. And that's why we need to think how we're going to use this technical term to make sure that people is easy to understand, it's easy to digest, because the complexity will make us very difficult to talk with our policy makers if they don't understand how they're going to provide support to the work on microbiomes. And that's why we need to see how science policies link to microbiome, but not enough. It needs to be translated into real action at the country level, at the ground level, and talk with our farmers and producers. Even though this morning before I came here, I talked with the private sectors and producers. How are we going? Because they are producing food. But we know that there are some issues it linked to the microbiomes in soil, in food, that can produce healthy, safe, and nutritious food at the same time. And what is our challenge today regarding the microbiomes innovations addressed to agri-food system and One Health? How are we going to boost soil health? Because microbial fertilizer improve crop health, soil health, and also reduce the need of chemical input. Healthier animals, probiotics in animal feed, support gut health, and reduce the need of antibiotics. Overuse, misuse of antibiotics and antimicrobials will also have an impact to microbiomes in gut. Cleaner food, the beneficial microbes help us to control harmful bacteria and making food safer from farm to fork, which actually sometimes we ignore about these issues. And fighting climate change as well, microbiome can help us to store carbon in soil in terms of soil carbon sequestrations and reduce the emission from agriculture, and especially you link from feed to cows can reduce the emissions or greenhouse gas emissions from livestock by promoting microbiomes in food or in guts. And that's why the stronger system of microbiomes will help us to have more sustainable and resilient, efficient and inclusive farming system, healthier people, and also a safer environment. And what we have to do next, as I mentioned, to make sure that number one, before we're talking about something big or strategy, to make sure that normal people understand what microbiome means. How you're going to communicate with normal people, how you're going to communicate with the policy makers. And that's why the others complementary strategies for microbiome in terms of assessment, surveillance, and diagnosis, to make sure that we have a database of microbiome can support early warning system for animals, human disease, or plant disease, and others. Or even though in terms of antimicrobial resistance, development of microbiome-based products. I think everything's linked to trade. It's very difficult, very easy to develop more, to get more support. Sustainable practice for microbiome stewardship is also another thing that we need to link that, because sometimes we don't know in the next 10 years, if people just say that, if you don't use microbiome carefully, will have an impact to environment, will have impact to animal health and human health. That will be another story. And also in terms of the precision microbiome approaches. And that's why I think all of these are strategies that I also encourage you to look at these strategies carefully. And that's why I take this opportunity to invite you to join the FAO Global Conference on Sustainable Livestock Transformation. And that's why I'm sure that one of the sessions, we will talk about microbiome, how it linked. And even though the same week, we will have the Global Forum for Animal Feed and Feed Regulators. And one of the issue also linked to microbiome in feed, how to improve the animal productivities and feed productions. And even though today we call for the FAO recognitions, because this year FAO is celebrating 80th anniversary, we also asking all of you to submit FAO recognition proposal, good practices and innovation, even though microbiome can be one of those. And at the special events during the World Food Forum, now we plan to have this kind of One Health in Agri-Food System Partner and Innovation Forum. I see that Dr. Subaran is there. We already sent her the invitation that she will join our World Food Forum Innovation Forum. And thank you very much, DG Avoa. And next year, we will have the 2026 International Year of Rangeland and Pastoralists, and also International Year of Women's Farmers. And that's why I'm sure that microbiome will play an important role in rangeland, grassland, how you support the soil health, how you support animal health, how you support our farmers and livestock. And that's why thank you very much for inviting me to talk with you. I hope that my talk is give you some idea how FAO work and how we can do more and can we work more with all of you. Thank you very much.
Thank you very much, Dr. Tiensin. I was going to propose Shadia Wanous to join me. Actually, we had one question online that concerned the possibility or questioning how to fasten and implement the collaborations. Do we need a new pan-European initiative? I think we're talking world, and so I'm not sure the pan-European has to really be emphasized here between us today. But still, it's a question for our last working group that will be presenting later this afternoon on the WMP and overall One Health partnership, a working group that has to really tell us what we should be doing in the near future to really merge these communities or bring these communities together. It was very inspiring, the presentations we had, and we start seeing how the power of microbiomes can be actually captured to help in many, many different fields. So this is really a very strong message for us right now. Do we have a question in the room? It seems not. So I would propose, yes, okay. You have one, go ahead.
Hello, my name is Emmanuel. I am a dermatologist working both at Saint-Louis Hospital and at L'Oréal Scientific Directorate. My question is, are you talking of one microbiome? I mean, are you speaking also of cutaneous microbiome, which is the second largest interface with the environment? And the question is also for research on animals. Are there some initiative of mapping of cutaneous microbiome somewhere in the world at the national or international level?
Yeah, so I don't think that we're exclusive in any way. We talk of the microbial human, and the human is microbial on the skin as much as in the gut and at every mucosal interface of the human body, essentially, and this is true for animals as well. And so we are not being exclusive in any way. When we hear of priorities, that will be the main driver. And so when there are incidents on disease, for example, and spread of microorganisms or resistance, then that might be highly relevant. when we hear of managing methane emissions among farm animals, then probably the skin will not have much of its place. But yeah, I think it's all dependent on the priorities we want to put forward collectively, really. Any other question? Yes? Can you please try and use your mic? Wonderful, thank you.
Good morning. This is Yirgalem from Addis Ababa University, Ethiopia. I just wanted to ask my colleague from FAO how the microbiome development is being promoted, particularly in terms of integrated in local policies and strategies to make sure that this is going to be a very important input in the agri-food system and make sure that it's going to be implemented sustainably. Thank you so much.
Sure. Okay. Thank you very much. As you may know that at FAO, we have the commissions on genetic resources for food and agriculture. And one of the issues that we discussed at that the commissions is about microorganisms and non-vertebrate species, which actually is also linked to microbiome. But we know that, as I mentioned earlier, even though the word microbiome, if you talk with policymakers, I'm sure that most of policymakers, they don't know what does it mean. And that's why when you want to bring these issues to be part of the national policies, whatever in terms of food and agriculture, or even the human health and so on, animal health and environmental health. Number one, you need to make sure that you communicate well with policymakers and decision makers. And then your knowledge and science need to have the knowledge, the science nexus or interface with the policy. And the next step, once the science from microbiome become the national policy or global policies at that level, you can develop to make sure that all the policies will be implemented, to make sure that how it links. For example, you're talking about agroecology. We know that agroecological approach, it also will link to microbiome in soil, in plant, in animals. But how you're going to make sure that the part of the microbiome will be part of the national policy or the global policy? As I told you, some of the work that FAO have done so far, it linked to microbiome practices in food safety, in crop productions, in animal production and health, and also linked to soil health. And that's why the next step, we need to continue talk more with member states, with policy makers, with decision makers. And then we also need to support the countries to implement these policies at the country level. And that's why how the work from science linked to policy and linked to the real implementation and action on the farm or at the country level, at the local level, whatever you want to address about human, animal, plant, and environment. Thank you very much.
Thank you very much. I think we'll leave it here for this session. Join me in thanking the presenters.